All right, so what we're going to do here is first, before we even begin to manipulate the content, we need to actually get whatever we type in here because that's what we're going to be using to add to the content. So one more variable, content, and that is going to be equal to text val. So there's three methods we need to talk about and what they do. Prepend, as you can guess, will add this content, or whatever we tell it to add, to the beginning of this element. Appending will add it to the end, and replacing will just replace it. So if we look over here at our index page, we have an ID of main. So this is what we want to work with here. So we need to manipulate that object. So I'm going to target that, which it's an ID, so use a hashtag. And then the ID is main, and we're going to prepend the content. So let's save this and have a look. Did I save that? Okay, let me just check and see if we're getting the content. Console log. Let's just use that console log actually. No, okay, that's the problem. Does it? Oh, it doesn't have an ID of text. It has a class of text. All right, let's save this and refresh. Now, if we type this should prepend, and as you can see, it does. Now, if we keep doing this, it's going to continue doing it. Now we can type in HTML here, and it will use the HTML because we've got the value. As you can see over here, these are the values. So that's cool. We're targeting and actually working with prepending. Now, as you can guess, appending is basically the same thing. So we're just going to target the element that we want to manipulate. So in this case, it's the element with an ID of main, and we're going to say append content. Save it. Let's refresh here. I'm just going to type appended content. And there we go. As you can see, it added it to the end. And if we inspect the element, it adds it outside of any child that's within it. So for instance, we have the paragraph element, which was the only child, and now we just have some text after it. So that's how to append. And with replace, we're just going to set the inner HTML. So how we set the inner HTML with jQuery is, again, we just target our element that we want to manipulate and just type HTML content. Let's save this and refresh. And as you can see, that's what happens. I'm going to prepend that, and then I'm going to append that. And there we go. So that's how to append, prepend, and replace, and just put content. You can also you can add HTML content. So if I wanted to make each one of these a link when we append it or prepend it, in the actual method that manipulates the content, you just create the element and then you concatenate it wherever you want to. So in this case, the text of the element is going to be the links. So let's go ahead and type something, and there we go. We've got a nice little link now. Now, what we should have happen is each time that this is done, it's going to reset the text area and make it blank. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the value. So let's say text val, and then we pass in empty quotations, and this will replace whatever's inside of it with an empty string. And the reason we put that outside of the if condition is because we want this to happen no matter if we're prepending, appending, or replacing. So these are conditional, right? We want something specific to happen here, but after this is all done, then we want to replace what's in the text area. And so that's what we've done there.